Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I want to talk about the different styles of BJJ. A lot of people watch my video like, you talk a lot about BJJ, but you don't talk a lot about karate. It's not that I can't not talk about karate because it's my main style I do. Traditional karate is really big on traditions and sacredness, and in this age of social media, I have people that watch it, my channel, and I want to make sure I respect the energy of my teachers. So there's, I do two styles of karate, Shotokan and Shinrin karate. But BJJ is very big on advertisement, and in particular, studio I train under is really big on social media. So the energy of the room is, yeah, go ahead, post, So that's the reason why. I have done Gi Jiu-Jitsu 7 of the 9 years, and I've done stand-up Gi on top of that. Now you ask, what's the difference stand-up Gi versus ground Gi? It's a huge difference. Basically, stand-up Gi is judo, and you add jiu-jitsu to the ground. Now jiu-jitsu is its own element. But if you do a Timiwaza, and you get them down to the ground, the natural flow is side control, full mount, north, south, turtle, wherever. It kind of flows to one or the other, because the shock of drawing somebody, unless you prep and you know this person is going to single leg takedown, then you got, say, guillotine choke. But going just being on the ground, like where I've been training is to the ground. You start out from your knees. It's different. You definitely are heavily relying on your jiu-jitsu skills. One of the things that kind of give bad name to jiu-jitsu is a lot of people they go in guard or butterfly, and I know what you're about to do, so I'm not going to go there with you. It's all type of memes, but it's a huge difference. The judo, the stand-up jiu-jitsu, especially Gi, no Gi, you get real good with your takedown. If you're a wrestler, it's a natural progression to do jiu-jitsu stand-up, because half of it, single leg, double leg, fireman carry, sotogari, Timiwaza, atami gashi, those things. It's a natural flow if you do other grappling martial arts, but there's some people who only know how to, they work on the ground, because ultimately going to the ground is the end result. So if I'm going to go, an ankle pick, I'm an ankle pick, most likely ankle pick, and go into a heel hook, single leg, toe hold, ankle lock, because you got the foot already there, so it's mostly proximity. So there's a difference. I think you got to, to train in Gi and no Gi, because in Gi you have a good foundation of grip fighting. Grip, is a big thing, because if you're holding this, this gonna pull me down. So by default, I'm gonna hold this. But when It's just this. I gotta be more creative. Like here, your shoulders. It's a little bit more creativity. There's a huge difference in both worlds. I don't do jiu-jitsu as my regular base to tell you which one is better. I just know that on Wednesdays I do jiu-jitsu. We do gi and no gi per the season or the months. So I'm kind of in the last 2 years been working more no gi. So it's you gotta have both experience. Jiu-jitsu is known for the gi, and then you have like I can't think of the jiu-jitsu where they was mostly no gi, and it'll come. It's a Brazilian. Popular in Brazil. You don't hear it as much as it used to be, but basically they focus on no-gi. It's gonna come to me. I'm gonna Google it and it's gonna come to me. But they focus on no-gi, and then Gracie's eventually, realized no gi was a thing, and they add to their game. But you need both of them. You need gi, no gi. You need stand up. You need just ground too. I'm not a purist like that to say, well, we gotta do stand up and that's some real jiu-jitsu. And then some people say, oh, well, ground, we going to the ground anyway. I'm not doing judo. I think you need everything. I think everybody got a piece of the pie. Stand-up jiu-jitsu has a piece of the pie. Ground jiu-jitsu has a piece of the pie. Gi jiu-jitsu, no gi, like, 10th Planet, they, Eddie Bravo, claim to fame was, they beat one of the Gracies. I can't think of the Gracie. I can't think of it. I'm not a BJJ big historian, but it was a shocker. It shocked the jiu-jitsu world with Eddie Bravo. Beat I think it's Renzo Gracie. And Gracie, they will die on that jiu-jitsu sleeve. It's no joke for them. It's a way of life. So I think it's a master of both. You need both. I know for me it's easier to get my submission with in gi, because I can get baseball bat, I can get clock choke, ninja choke, triangle a little bit better, leg triangle, straight arm bar, because you have more to grab to the staple, but also it takes a toll on your fingers, but I would say no-gi, you have to be a lot more precise because you're sweating, you don't have the same grip, but your creativity and your flexibility goes above and beyond. So it both has this place, every martial art has a subculture. Karate has a subculture. What I do, Japan traditional karate versus Western karate, the decade, depending on the practitioner or the school you come from, every culture got a subculture of martial arts. I'm assuming Muay Thai has it. You know, I know that karate got so many subcultures, that each subculture got a subculture. So, you know, it's a nobody's wrong. You know, I'm like, hey, you know, it's enough room for everybody. You know, your version not wrong, my version not wrong. We all got a version, and it works for wherever you need to. So I don't get hung up on tradition like that. I'm for tradition in martial arts, but not so much where you can't adapt with the time. So, all right, guys, have a good one.